Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So a few weeks ago I felt like being a bit more experimental and I had some of these face stickers and gems to play around with from Claire's Accessories. So I decided to go ahead and create this dark mermaid style look. If you want to see how I got this, then please keep watching. The first step is obviously foundation, and I'm going in with the Doublewear because I want a super full coverage for this look, and I'm just going to pat that in with my beauty blender. I might look a little odd here. I have bleached my eyebrows. I do tend to do that anyway because my eyebrows are so dark. They're really dark brown. They almost look black. So I like to bleach them so I can do all sorts of different things with them. And then I'm going in with concealer, and this is the Lasting Perfection concealer from Collection. It's a really, really nice drugstore concealer, super affordable and great coverage. And I'm just going to apply that in a triangle shape and then blend that in, and I'm also taking it on to the lids as well, just to cancel out any discoloration on the lids. I'm then going to take that same concealer and just conceal any areas of my face that I feel need a little bit of extra coverage. Set that concealer and help prevent it from creasing. I'm then going to be setting it with my Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I'm actually going to pack quite a lot of this on. I guess you could call it baking, but the reason I'm actually doing this is because the eyeshadows that I'm using today do have quite a lot of fallout. So if I pack that powder on, any fallout I have, I can just wipe it away at the end. I'm then going to set the rest of my face with some MAC Studio Fix in NW10. I'm using eyeshadows from the Urban Decay Electric palette to fill in my brows, so I'm just going to mix Freak and Thrash together for the front of my brows, and I'm just going to fill those in using a Real Techniques liner brush. So this does take quite a bit of time to do, so I am just going to speed this up a little bit. I'm then going to mix Chaos and Gonzo together, and I'm just going to apply these next to that green colour right up to the arch of my brow. Finally, I'm taking a mixture of Jilted and Urban to fill in the rest of my brows. And to make sure these colours are nice and blended, once I get less colour on that brush, I just take it and sweep it through in zigzag motions across each colour, the edges of each colour, and then just make sure that they're blended together. Moving on to the eyes, firstly I'm going to prime them with MAC's Painterly Paint Pot, and I'm taking that all the way across the lid and up to my brows. Once those eyes are primed and ready to go, I'm going to be completing the rest of this eye look with the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette. And the first shadow that I'm going into is called Framed. And I'm just going to apply that lightly into my crease area. I'm then taking this beautiful eyeshadow called Arctic on a Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I'm also going to apply that into the crease as well, just using small circular motions. There isn't really a suitable highlight shade for the brow in the Vice 4 palette, unfortunately, so I've pulled out my Naked Basics palette and I'm just going into this shadow here called Venus. And I'm just going to apply that up on my brow bone and drag it slightly down into that green colour, just to make them look nice and blended. I'm then going to apply Crowbar to my lid, and this is a really, really interesting colour. It almost is like a moss green, But I've also applied it over a black base before, and it almost comes out like a black and gold, and it goes really, really nice and sparkly. There are a lot of glitters in the shadow, and that means there is a lot of fallout, so that powder that I've placed underneath is going to help just to keep that under eye area nice and clean when I come to wiping any fallout away. Of course, you can do foundation and concealer before you do your eyeshadow instead. That might be easier. For some reason I just decided to do it this way around though. For a more unusual highlight, I'm going into this shade here called Harlot, and I'm just going to place that into my inner corners, and then I'm going to blend it into that Arctic shade as well. Then to really brighten up that tear duct area, I'm going back in with Venus from the Naked Basics palette and a Real Techniques detailer brush, just to really brighten up that area. For my lower lash line, I'll be using Deadbeat. And this is like a black with a silver glitter running through it. And I'm just going to apply this with a Sigma E30 pencil brush. I'm just taking it most of the way across the lid, leaving that inner third clear of any product. I said clear really weird then. I'm then going back in with a clean blending brush just to make sure that everything is nice and blended and there are no harsh lines. And then I'm taking a Real Techniques base shadow brush with some of that Arctic shade on, and I'm just going to blend that over that black shade. And then I'm going to fill that inner third in with Harlot with my Real Techniques detailer brush. I'm then going to do a winged liner with some gel liner. This is from Maybelline, it's their Dramatic Lasting Drama gel liner, I think that's what it's called. And I'm just applying this with a MAC 266 brush. Once the liner's applied, we're just going to apply mascara too. I skipped that bit because you see me do it a million times and mascara is boring. So we're going to move on to the face. And today I'm contouring with NYX Blush in Taupe. So I'm just going to chisel out my cheekbone area, and I'm going to take this up around my temples, around my forehead as well. And to do this, I'm using the Real Techniques 301 contour brush. If you'd like to see a review on this brush, I will link it down below. And then once we've got that contour on, just to make sure that everything is nice and blended in, I'm going to take my damp beauty blender with no additional product, and I'm just going to pounce that over my face. For cheeks, I'm going in with the Collection Gorgeous Glow. I seem to be reaching for this a lot recently. I also used it in my recent Valentine's Day look. I'm also going to take some of that blush up to my temples as well. And I'm using a Real Techniques blush brush to apply this. So I want my skin to be super, super glowy, so I'm going in with my Mary Lou-Manizer. I'm just going to apply this to all the typical places I usually apply this on my face, and I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush to do this. This is one of my favourite brushes to apply highlighter with. I seem to be losing my voice as well, which is not great. So I'm just applying that to the top of my cheekbones, above my brow bones, like the arches of my arches of my brows, and on the tip of my nose and my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin as well. I forgot to mention that I did use black eyeliner on my waterline and tightline. I must have cut it out when I did my mascara. Talking of black liner, I'm going to be using the OCC colour pencil in Tard just to line my lips. And then on top of that, just to add glossiness, because I didn't seem to have a clear gloss, I'm using the Technopagan Lip Tar. And this isn't really going to do much. You're not going to see much of the blue because I really have taken the tiniest amount of this. I just wanted to make my lips look a little bit more glossy and wet looking. Now for the face gems, I'm going to take a couple of green gems. I'm going to place 2 on my lips, on the bottom lip, and then 1 in between my cupid's bow, like that philtrum area. I think that's what it's called. And then I'm taking 3 gems, 2 pink and then 1 purple on the end, and I'm going to place that just under that winged eyeliner on each eye. And I'm using tweezers to do this because I have long nails now, so it's kind of hard to get a grip of them. And then I'm taking this face sticker that I found in Claire's Accessories, and I'm just going to play around with this until I'm happy with the placement. It is quite sticky, so you can keep moving it around and it's not going to fall off or anything or lose its tackiness. So while I keep playing around with that, then once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to pat it down into place. And then I'm going to sort my hair out. So it looks a bit crazy right now. And then that is the finished dark mermaid style look. So I hope you really like this, guys. It just felt like being really experimental, and I do love playing with makeup and colours. And yeah, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video.